the timing of Ethiopia's resurgence or opening up the private sector as well is coinciding, if you like, with our closing our financing. So the local participation has been facilitated by that stuff as well.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by KEFI Gold and Copper Executive Chairman, Harry Adams. Harry, very good to speak with you. You're out with an update on the project financing for your Tulu Kapi gold project in Ethiopia, and it looks positive with approvals received from a second bank.
Well, it's very positive. It was quite a critical milestone for us, and it was not only their credit committee approval, which is sort of the bulk of the work on all the due diligence being approved, but also the fact that the president of that bank was able to visit Addis Ababa shortly after that approval, so as to meet with the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance and myself, and it was quite a symbolic moment to us in that one interesting comment I'd take the liberty to repeat is that when the President of AFC asked the Minister about certain things that he might wish to consider to do for his project, the Minister turned around and said, well, actually, it's our project. And I said the question, well, it's great that everybody thinks it's their project. It's all our project. And that's the flavour, if you like. The substantive issue is that the principal backers for this project are all on board formally, and we all agreed and shook hands, eyeballed each other to now finish it off. That's the critical thing.
So your increased proposed bank loan facilities have gone up to $240 million from $190 million. $320 million in development finance package is now covered. And the repayment should be pretty easy, just given the high quality gold you will be mining, Harry.
Well, that's how would I put it? The quantums of debt proposed previously were reflective of a higher risk rating at the time and a lower gold price outlook at the time. And since those numbers were last refined, both project risk has improved and gold price outlook has improved, and therefore, yes, the proposed increased debt quantum is quite significant for us because it breaks the back of the funding package, reduces the residual requirement by $50 million, and combined with our drive to involve local participation, it makes that whole exercise a lot more straightforward, which is wonderful given how difficult the sector has been in the international stock markets, over the last however many years. That ability to raise capital locally has made all the difference, really.
Harry, you also highlight strong local participation, both from the private and public sectors.
Yes, well, the public sector participation goes right back to when we first kicked off our involvement here, when we went to the head of the government at the time and said we really would encourage them to participate at an equity level because it was a frontier market project, at the first modern mine development, first international project finance for a country, and that required some regulatory reforms to normalise the situation for mining finance. And at the time, the country agreed, the government agreed to participate, partly to show its commitment, partly to, how would I put it, help align with local ownership as much as we possibly could. That bridge was crossed some years ago, but what's happened now is that there's this huge push, for economic recovery. The country is used to being in the top 10 growth countries of the world and is quickly getting back into that position now. And secondly, private sector reform has opened up the private sector enormously. There's been more deregulation of the private capital markets, or private sector capital markets in the last 4 months than there had been in the previous millennia, if I can put it that way, forever. The floating of the local currency, the establishment of the first IPO, the launching of the stock exchanges coming up next in the next month or two. Any number of other things I could think of, our exchange control exemptions being spread out a little bit further to the private sector. So there's this huge wave of internationalization going on, and therefore that's a bit of a lucky break in the sense that our desire for local participation from the private sector, from qualified investors like financial institutions and high net worth offices, all of whom have their capital trapped in Ethiopia. They can't invest offshore. This is a wonderful opportunity for them to get involved in an asset which gives them a hedge against currency devaluation, a hedge against local inflation by being gold linked. So it's a bit of an innovation, but particularly suited to the local market and at the time when the stock exchanges is launching. So the timing of Ethiopia's resurgence or opening up the private sector as well is coinciding, if you like, with our closing our financing. So the local participation has been facilitated by that stuff as well. We haven't had a lot of good luck over the last few years, but at the moment there's a bit of good luck going on, which is great.
Well, I hope you'll keep us updated on any further developments, Harry, and all that good luck that's coming your way. Thanks for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's Harry Adams. He's Executive Chairman of KEFI Gold and Copper.